Since you'll be marrying into my distinguished family, I'm eager to bestow upon you a gift suitable of that prestige. I shall lead you to my treasury and introduce you to the family jewels.
The family what? This game contains content might not be suitable for most audiences. Viewers' discretion is advised. Welcome everyone to the Groom of Gallagher Mansion. Now, I'd like to remind you guys that this game is for adults only, so minors, please do not interact. However, if you'd like to get this game alongside with over 100 amazing games, books, and audio dramas, there is the Queer Halloween Stories 2023 bundle that's set to go on sale in a couple of days. It is the first link in the description after the link to the game. So if you guys do want to support a bunch of amazing creators and check out a whole bunch of amazing stories, I would highly recommend you guys check that out yourselves. I am personally excited. I will be getting myself a copy of the bundle once it's been released. So hey, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? The stories I've heard about the old Gallagher Mansion. The tales and whispers and rumors. Home to decadence and luxury in the days of yore. Now abandoned out of fear and left to rot. The obfuscated photos. The promise of lost inheritance. And a history stained by misfortune and blood. Spilt in greed and ambition. None of them have done this place justice. Quite the opposite, in fact. They all made it sound much more exciting. A quick look at Gallagher Mansion doesn't suggest anything special. It's just one of many other ancient, abandoned, century-plus old estates around here. I never got the hype. These decrepit old places litter this town like fallen leaves no one has bothered to rake up. It's a spot for college dorks to drink and hope no one notices. An occasional haunted house for young adventurers and home to a few basic ghost stories. Some of the older locals take pride in heritage and horror in one neat package. You never notice anything extraordinary just by look at it. Sure, close to midnight, an eerie old mansion far off the main road will spook you well enough, especially if you're alone. Luckily, I'm neither of those things. Well, technically I am alone, but not by myself. I fondle the phone in my hands for comfort, while trying to avoid the thorns of the rose. No need to prick myself just yet, according to Taylor. Gallagher Mansion is abandoned. It's been abandoned for most of its existence. So why does it look like a pile of splinters? Why are the grounds not overgrown with weeds and vines and poison ivy?
Team, do you copy? What's the situation on the field? Over.
Hi, Taylor! Also, why is the audio so soft? Apparently, I've already fiddled with the settings. This is the loudest Taylor's gonna be, throughout this playthrough. I hope to God that editor me has, edited this in a way where you guys can actually hear the voice acting, but still, let's get back into it. Doing fine, Taylor. In fact, a little disappointed. I was hoping for something more than a light breeze. Maybe a darker and stormier night to really set the mood. Over.
Ha, don't jinx yourself now, buddy. Optimal weather conditions will make the mission easier for you and me both. Over.
You know, you don't need to say over when we're on a phone call, right? We can both talk and hear each other at the same time, over. A pause. I could almost feel Taylor's pout on the other side of the line. I'm serious, though. So far, this may as well be an evening stroll.
Keep your guard up. If my sources are accurate, I'm 90% confident we'll find something in this place.
What about the 10%? The voice in my ear is Taylor Pott, a longtime dorm bestie at Zephyr University and the president of the college's Occult History and Sciences Investigation Club, aka the OSIC. Meanwhile, there's me, the vice president. If only because I'm the only other member who consistently shows up to the meetings. And that's mostly because I feel bad for Taylor putting in all this work for the club. That's why I'm here tonight, of course. Why I'm at the steps of Gallagher Mansion, dressed to some very uncomfortable nines with a desperate ghost hunter walk me through a desperate plan. Long story short, the student union is a meeting away from dropping support for the OSIC. We've had trouble retaining membership for a while now, and the facility we use for our meetings is utterly wasted on the two of us. Their words, not mine.
What do you mean you're done funding the club? The OHSIC is an incredibly important resource for students to explore their spirituality, their heritage, their culture!
Listen, Mr. Potts. I've pulled enough strings letting you have the club for so long in the first place, but I can't defend you when we're not seeing results.
You know, the voice actor for the union chairperson, like, sounds very familiar. I just want to say.
You still have a freaking anime club! All they do is watch movies and spend money on imported snacks! That's gotta be violating some kind of rule about appropriating funds or something!
First of all, it's the Japanese Culture and Heritage Club. Secondly, they actually retain regular members, as do many other clubs.
Hang on. Like, the audio is still a bit loud for me, and I know you guys definitely can't hear me.
If you can't engage with the students of this university, you're not really providing anything of value. Space is a premium too. You know that everyone on campus is going gaga for that newly proposed juggling club, and they'd appreciate a room that's barely being used as it is.
The juggling club?
The juggling club? The juggling club! You can't do that to us!
I think it's the juggling club part that's gotten to him the most. Taylor's logic? Clowns juggle things. Clowns are scary and evil. Therefore, the juggling club by default is scary and evil.
There's gotta be another way! Please! What do you need us to do to save the club?
All you need is a few more members. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you can show us that the OSICO is still relevant to the student body.
OHSIC.
That's the hill you want to die on, Taylor?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that.
That's how it went down yesterday morning, according to Taylor. Later that afternoon, before I could start going through the motions of our meeting agenda.
Okay, here's the plan. You know that old house way out there on the corner of town? That old Gallagher place where all those deaths and murders happened ages ago? We've never checked it out! We thought it was too boring, too vanilla. But no! Maybe we made a mistake trying to find new things when we've left the biggest stone in town unturned.
Okay, but has anything changed about the place since the last time I looked at it?
Tomorrow, we're gonna investigate the old dump. I just know there's something we can find in there. It's our last hope. Vice Prez, tonight we're hitting the books. Research like your life depends on it.
Me? And by we're investigating, Taylor meant that I go there in person by myself while he provides intel via earpiece back at HQ. HQ is Taylor's car, of course. Maybe we could paint it like Ecto 1 and get a few members that way.
Status? You've been a little quiet. Over.
Back to the over thing, huh? I'm doing okay. Just thinking.
Don't get cold feet now, buddy. We need you now more than ever. You've dealt with the paranormal before, and you've rocked their world. Are you worried about your lines?
No, I've got the script down, all right? So, my tuxedo's a little hard to breathe in. We're about tripping on my gown. My wedding attire is a lot to get used to. Like the top is a vest and long coat, while the bottom is a huge frilly skirt. So it's really new to me. I do like it, though. Over.
Sorry, no can do. You've got to look the part for when you fall into the cold, dead arms of Elias Gallagher. Over.
Yeah, understood. I'll look as classically ravishing as possible. Over. As I say that, I quietly adjust my outfit anyway. Taylor can see me over the earpiece anyhow. I may as well be comfortable. Maybe even a little disheveled. As befits someone with my sorrowful tale. I'm at the door.
How's the rose?
Immaculate.
Then go for it, buddy. You're about to change our lives.
Can I ask you one more question before I start the mission?
Shoot.
Did, court entertainers or whatever still exist in Victorian times?
I don't really know if they did. Or why you're asking me that?
I'm just saying, what if Elias Gallagher isn't the only ghost left in this mansion? What if I run into his personal clown?
Ghost clown? No! Why would you even suggest such a thing? I don't want to think about it.
Imagine Taylor's surprise, if I brought him the tape. You know, the tape, the Sunny Day Jack tape. Imagine, how surprised he'd be. I should make him watch a tape. That'll be really funny. That would be incredibly funny. I could be in danger. Unless maybe it was a nice clown who could cook.
Quit stalling and start the mission already.
Bet he could make you pancakes! There goes Taylor hammering in the no fun allowed sign. Oh well. I turn my attention back to the facade of the mansion. It really does look too well maintained for an abandoned building. The cool brass handle turns and the door glides open. The first thing I notice is how still the air tastes inside the manor. Second thing I notice is how cold it is in here, even compared to the light breeze outside. The atmosphere is unnaturally frigid, though not enough to make me bail out to grab a jacket, as long as I'm quick. This place has certainly seen better days. Hacker voice, I'm in.
How's it looking in there, bud?
A lot more promising now that I'm inside. Perfectly ripe for a haunting, complete with a creepy portrait upstairs. In fact, you'd probably have an asthma attack with all this dust.
Is your sixth sense tingling?
Well, I feel something else tingling, but I don't think it's my sixth sense, unless, you want to call that my sixth sense. I don't know why, but it's super cold in here. As long as I'm in and out of here fast, I don't think I need to worry about it too much.
That's reasonable. I think it's time to summon a ghost then.
Roger that. About time I put that single year of high school theater to put to good use. Well, here we go. Prick my finger on one of the thorns, scatter a few of the rose petals around, and cue the monologue. I suck in a breath as the thorns prick my index, channeling the pain into a sufficiently hammy performance. Alas, my poor aching heart. I clutch at my chest with one hand and raise the other towards the ceiling, choking a few dramatic sobs before collapsing into a heap. The acoustics in this foyer accentuates the cacophony of echoes. Woe is me to have been abandoned so coldly at the altar. Why did the love of my life forsake me so? Today was said to be the most joyous day of my mortal existence, and yet all I feel is the pull of despair to my darkest days thus. Oh, woe upon such an unfortunate soul as mine. I can hear some slow clapping and a stifled guffaw from the earpiece. All I wanted in life was to know the warmth of a lover's touch. Won't anyone take pity on me? I let loose another pathetic sound of anguish while plucking off more petals and close my eyes.
This is my cue to throw tomatoes at the stage, right?
Taylor, come on! We never even had the chance to rehearse! Tomatoes mean the performances suck. I'm doing great, dummy.
All right. Keep up the good work then, buddy old pal.
He calls me this, knowing full well that he's gonna get me, into immense danger. I glance around my surroundings. I almost feel like the painting on the second floor is judging me silently. Must be my imagination. Why should I continue to live a life unfulfilled? I almost think it's better to sleep an eternity, dreaming forevermore, rather than to suffer this cruel reality. I block off the last of the rose petals and cast away the stem. The deep crimson speckles on my blood glimmer starkly in the light of the moon, now dripping through the cobweb-covered windows. Perhaps I shall die as I lived, alone, with naught but my own sorrow. If God, or some kind and gentle soul, has lent ears to my pleas, then take me now. I lower my head and let out a few more tears down my cheek. The ritual is now complete.
Truly a riveting performance. 10 out of 10, Oscar worthy, or whatever.
Don't kill the atmosphere! The temperature suddenly drops to the point where it feels like my blood is freezing in my veins. Something inside my brain screams at my legs to run, but I can't move. I raise my head just in time to see the rose petals scattered across the foyer, swirling up in the air, coalescing back onto the stem I threw at the foot of the steps.
Alack, what blood is this, which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre?
Wait, who was that? What's happening over there?
Only the greatest thing to happen in my life, Taylor! Now buzz off! My jaw drops as the vague shape of a man materializes from the top of the staircase. My mouth is suddenly too dry to form a coherent response. Elias Gallagher, in all his undead and ephemeral glory, is gliding down the steps before me. Holy.
Fresh blood in my esteemed estate. Stained on a red rose, no less. A tragic sight indeed. But not quite so tragic as the one who stands before me.
Pray tell, who are you, and what is your purpose here?
My purpose here is you. Like, you are the meaning of my life. Like, I don't care that your head's disembodied. Like, goddamn.
Bud? Hey, bud. What's going on over there?
Nothing, Taylor. Don't worry about it. Elias Gallagher, Lord of this mansion. My name is Lion. And I am but someone's groom, someone's bride, someone's betrothed. I am Lion. I was betrothed to one who abandoned me at the altar on the day of our wedding. With a broken heart in my chest and tears in my eyes, I sought solace in a quiet place away from the ceremony. Found myself here.
Ah, you poor dear. You and I are not at all dissimilar indeed. I am well acquainted with tragedy, and know that your wounds need tending to at once.
Oh my god.
Would you like to forget the cur who broke your heart?
Yes, sure, why not? Hook, line, and sinker. Yes, I would not hesitate if there was such a way to ease my sorrows, but I fear it won't be a simple matter.
Nonsense, my dear. I can melt away your anxiety and regrets, for it is within my power as long as you remain inside these four walls. Now, will you accept this rose, darling?
He holds out the rose I shredded up not too long ago, the blood gone from the petals and thorns absent from the stem.
Hey! Hey, bud! What's going on there? The line's going haywire over here!
Don't worry about it, Taylor! There's nothing wrong! I reach up towards Elias to take the rose from his hand, and our knuckles brush against one another. His touch is deathly cold. Well.
I'm requesting a report! Do you need backup? Answer me!
Nah, don't worry about it!
Wonderful, darling.
Elias's hand glides up to my cheek, caressing it gently and phasing through my skin.
Now even death won't do us part.
What does he mean by that? Distant cry of a carnival mystery. A long wail, a pained moan, looping through the walls and dancing on the flowers. The petals shake, stamens and pistils tremble, and perfume avalanches upon me, a billion scents as strong as a forgotten sun, strong enough to sting my eyes. I rub my eyes and open them to a blue ceiling. What the? Where am I? As I ask, the wails and moans shaking my bones cease. They were my breath, just my breath. And that carnival mystery? The phone's still ringing. It's not in any of my pockets. This wedding garb was some huge mistake. A hand scamper around the sheets of the bed, searching for my phone, trying to uncertain. Hang on, bed? My eyes remember to look at more than the ceiling, along with the rest of my senses waking up and processing information. Sure enough, I found myself in some ancient bedroom. I catch a flicker of light amongst the disheveled sheets. I snatch it to me. My phone screen glows like a comforting little lantern. I accept Taylor's call and...
Oh, God! I've tried you like 50 times already since the call dropped! What the hell happened?
I don't really know. Or am I?
Are you still in the mansion?
Somehow I'd forgotten where I was, what had happened. My cheek twinged with the memory of a chill, ethereal touch. Elias. A touch from Elias. A ghost touched me! And probably in a way that I liked! Right? That actually did happen. It wasn't just some sleep-deprived hallucination I had from all of Taylor's ramblings, right?
Hey, bud, don't clam up now.
Yeah, I guess I'm, not outside at least.
Describe your location.
Well, everything around me is still dimly lit in a morose shade of blue, so that's a good sign. Well, good might not be the right word. And the decor certainly looks wait, hang on. Is this still inside a mansion, right? Lights and decor are one thing, but this room sure doesn't look like it's moments from falling apart. The sheets I'm lying upon are coarse but in perfect condition, as fresh as the day they were woven on some state-of-the-art pedal loom. The mattress holds my weight with a sense of duty, and the pillows couldn't be fluffier. The paint on the walls, which were peeling away in the foyer, was immaculately tight here with not a chip in sight, no cobwebs or holes or even a speck of dust floating upon the air. The portraits and paintings all hang straight and untorn with gilded golden frames, the pots and vases, without any cracks in their porcelain. Even the air is a far cry from moss and bird's nests if you ignore the stale taste. And now that I'm calmer, I also noticed that I'm wearing a pair of soft silken gloves that I don't recall bringing with me when I came in. Were these a gift from Elias? Wait, hang on. Look at this bedroom. I take a quick set of photos and upload them to Taylor.
Wait, a bedroom?
I guess it's a lot nicer than foyer. Nothing's falling apart. Nothing's stained. It looks like some part of the same house though. Same general decor.
Huh. Maybe the door was locked and nobody got in? This place is a known party hub after all. Maybe the co-eds and whoever else wrecked everything they could reach, but they just couldn't get into here.
That seems unlikely. A century of no one visiting this would still do damage to a locked room. It's not like it's sealed away from the rest of the world. Unless... was it just this room? A special place for me? Hey Taylor, can I ask you for a favor?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you, brief me on the mission again?
You're kidding, right?
I just woke up and I'm pretty sure there's a ghost floating around eager to meet me, so come on.
Yeah, alright, you're right. Let's play 20 questions to catch you up to speed here.
Alright, why am I here?
You're really asking me? Sorry.
Taylor inhales deeply before continuing.
You're on a field mission to investigate Gallagher Mansion, so we can find evidence that ghosts exist, therefore proving that the OHSIC still has value to Zephyr University Student Union. Besides finding a ghost, we're also looking to see if we can figure out where that old Gallagher fortune might be. Treasure hunting isn't our primary goal, but it's worth keeping an eye out for. The newspaper clippings we found always said how huge the inheritance was, but some assets were never accounted for in the banks. Rumor has it that the Gallaghers kept part of the fortune somewhere in the estate.
That sounds about right. Thanks for the recap. Who were the Gallaghers? So who exactly were the Gallaghers in the grand scheme of things?
The Gallaghers were a well-off military family from Europe who came to America in the mid-1800s. Archibald Gallagher, the patriarch of the family, found success as a cornmeal baron. He married a woman named Mildred, and together they had a total of 7 children. All of the Gallaghers were quite exceptional, except for...
Elias.
Elias was the black sheep of the family. All of his other siblings were born strong and healthy, but Elias's birth came with a lot of complications.
He was bedridden for most of his life, wasn't he?
Pretty much the epitome of the sickly Victorian child trope.
I don't think you should put it that way. I can almost hear Taylor's shrug from the earpiece. How did the Gallaghers die?
A lot of rumors say it was some kind of curse, but no one can agree on why they were cursed to begin with. The eldest child died first in a horse accident or something. After that, it was a chain of freak accidents in short succession, completely unrelated to the previous deaths. But without fail, it would always kill the next eldest child like a line of dominoes, hitting the rest of them in some pretty gruesome ways.
Yikes.
I think Archibald and Mildred Gallagher weren't too happy about having to write Elias down as their sole heir once the others were gone, but somehow he'd managed to dodge the curse. Then, not long after amending the will, the parents drowned in a bridge collapse on what was supposed to be a leisurely carriage ride. Same energy as scented candles setting fire to your apartment.
Talk about depressing.
There was, still is, plenty of speculation about Elias spinning elaborate murder schemes to take down his family. But the thing is, Elias had few people to write letters to, and even fewer people who'd write back. Elias became a permanent shut-in after becoming the head of the Gallagher estate. I'd probably do that too if it happened to me.
Sheesh, no kidding. Who killed Elias Gallagher? Elias himself was murdered, long after the Gallagher curse had X'd off the rest of his family, but who killed him?
That would be Violet and Gerard Dupont. Gerard was the Gallagher groundskeeper, and after the rest of the family died, he decided to get a little ambitious. Don't think that guy was gay, though. Otherwise, I imagine he would have gone after Elias himself. So, he introduced his sister Violet to Elias as a fellow heiress without a partner. You can guess what happened next, right?
The whole courtship dance, a romantic proposal, and a wedding to write home about?
Everything but the wedding, yes. According to the newspapers we dug up, Elias died the night before his wedding ceremony while the DuPonts were caught red-handed tearing the place apart, looking for the Gallagher fortune.
And then the rest is history. This feels different compared to last time. You know, this mission feels different compared to the last time I had an encounter with the paranormal. Taylor, do you have something to tell me? Taylor?
That's because the last mission I sent you on wasn't a real thing. That was a fake paranormal incident. Hey, after we posted your reactions on the internet, we did get some new members.
For a little bit, then they left, and it was just you and me again. Taylor lets out a deep sigh on the other end. That's the end of that. I think I'm all caught up. Thanks for catching me up, Taylor.
Of course, bud.
I glanced around my surroundings again. The door leading out this room, out to somewhere only Elias could know, beckoned me forward. I had to know what lay beyond. I think I'm going to explore more.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold your horses! Aren't you feeling lightheaded or dizzy or anything?
Just a little groggy. Why?
You know, I've been trying to reach you for 2 hours! Were you even aware you've been gone that long? Maybe you had, like, a concussion or something.
I have no idea, but I don't think I have a concussion. The touch. That really did knock me out, huh? I can barely remember. Elias didn't seem to think it was a threatening act. Did he want to put me asleep, or does he not know his own strength? When I collapsed, what did you hear?
I kept hearing that guy's voice, and a rush of air. So, was it really Elias?
This isn't another one of your fake incidents, is it? I know I shouldn't have asked that. Taylor wouldn't pull that on me twice. But after everything I've been through tonight, it jumped off my tongue in desperate skepticism.
No, of course not. So you really did see the Elias Gallagher?
I think I touched him too.
Okay, I'm coming in. We have to get you out of there.
Why are you so desperate to get me out now? Wait, hang on. Why? This is what we came for, though. And we don't even know what's going on now that Elias is active. Listen, Taylor, you're the one who's the actual ghost fanatic. I only hang out with you at the OSHA because...
OHSIC.
Oh, whatever. Look, you finally have your proof that ghosts really do exist. Now you're calling a retreat?
It's a tactical retreat. I was kinda prepared to find a ghost, but not for you to go MIA for 2 whole hours.
Okay, he's got a fair point there. I almost feel a little guilty at how hard he's hyperventilating. Oh, God. I'm sorry for worrying you. Sorry for worrying you, Taylor. If I'd known that I was gonna conk out for 2 hours, I would have tried to avoid it.
I'm just really glad you're still here. I don't know what would happen to the OHSIC if I lost you.
I'm a little irked that his first priority seemed to be the club rather than my personal well-being. I don't have the energy to die on that hill.
So, if that ghost had the power to put you to sleep, he must be a lot stronger than we anticipated.
I don't think he's gonna hurt me, though. After all, he wants to court me.
You two just met! That's rushing into things!
It's not the first time, Taylor! So much for catching his breath. That was our plan, wasn't it? To trick him into thinking that I was supposed to get married? Well, we succeeded. I could just barely hear the faint gnashing of teeth on the other end.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Look, I'm still coming in to give you a hand. I trust that guy about as far as I can throw him. Which isn't very far, well, considering, you know, he's a ghost.
Well, if you're coming in, I'm heading out. Don't know what I'll find, but I'm bored of this bedroom.
No, you stay right there. We have no idea what that dude's up to.
Well, according to you, I was sent on this field mission because I have the stronger body and no dust allergies. Stay on the line, alright? Let's see what happens. The door opens to a house alive. The chill is gone and the dim light from the windows flow through the halls like a river undammed. I think this is the same house. After all, the walls are chipped, the floorboards creak, and 100 ornate doors beckon to be opened. A mystery behind each and every one. Yeah, I'm just as lost now as I was before I fell asleep. I'm out of the bedroom. No signs of Elias or any other ghost for that matter. I think I'm still in the mansion.
Ugh. Okay then, I'll stay put for now. But if we're gonna do this, then you need to give me a status report.
Okay, so you know how cold I was when I first entered? That's not a problem anymore. The whole matter is... What's one step down from cozy? No response except what might be Taylor biting his lips. As he contemplates the situation, I hear another voice. It sounds happy? It's humming a melody unfamiliar to me, all at once wistful and joyous and despondent. Good humming? The harmony of dissonances fill the house, even though they barely outdo a whisper. And despite the echoes crawling like slugs along the walls, I know exactly where the sound originates. I think I know where Elias is. Yeah, I'm going to try to find my way back to him.
If the house really has returned to its full glory, is it because of Elias? If it's not freezing in there anymore, that has to mean something. I think you've really awakened him.
What do you mean? Care to elaborate?
Your presence has given him something he hasn't had in forever. I think this house conforms to his spectral energy. You've made him happy.
In what way?
You've satisfied part of his wish for romance, but I want you to be very careful about how that wish gets entirely fulfilled, okay?
You telling me you don't want me to satisfy him too much? Okay. I haven't been paying much attention to where I'm going, but my feet have walked on without second thought, through twisting halls, to another dimly lit room, and to Elias Gallagher. I peek into the study as quietly as I can, sans the creaky door hinges so as to not disturb Elias. I spy him holding a few volumes of some old book collections in his arms as he peruses a crowded shelf. I can't help but notice the content smile resting on his lips. Once satisfied with his haul, Elias floats over to an armchair and sets the books on a nearby accent table, making sure they're his preferred order. A pot of tea and some snacks wait for him to sit down. Wait, a ghost can eat or drink? Contemplating the question, I lean forward to get a better look, the door creaking as it's unintentionally pushed further open. What? Oops, everyone is reading time. He spotted me.
Oh, my dearest, wait there.
He hurries over, ghostly tail slicing through the carpet. In a quiet instant, Elias floats before me, chest puffed dramatically.
Please, my dear, you mustn't wander around. Things remain out of sorts.
I do my best to ignore Taylor's annoyed groan. But when I heard you humming, my feet began to move off their own accord. Why? You must have summoned me here to grant you company. Sure, the line was cheesy, but it wasn't wholly inaccurate. I was drawn to Elias somehow, by something. Maybe it's his ghost tail.
And here I thought I had been quiet so as to not disturb your slumber. Sincerest apologies for rousing you from your rest.
Yeah, it's fine. That won't be the only thing you'll be rousing tonight. No need for apologies, my dear. I had already awoken. Elias cocks his head.
And yet, that changes little about the unreadiness of this manor. After all, I have to do all this cleaning myself. Simply look at the state of this study. Oh, it's so far gone from its glory days.
Didn't you say it was pristine?
I did, and I stand by that. Virology labs wish they were this clean. Either Elias is a perfectionist beyond compare, or he and I are seeing two different versions of this manor. And yet, I find these rooms quite beautiful.
Just wait, and be amazed. I will have to find new staff quite soon. Sadly, they did not stay with me as I left my body behind. Oh, if only they had.
Now, don't get too preoccupied with the staff. You have all the time in the world to replace them.
On the contrary, arrangements must be made with all haste.
Arrangements for what?
Our wedding, of course.
Taylor chokes on his spit through the earpiece while I stand there and replay that last sentence in my head. I can't blame Elias for wanting to rush after decades of waiting, but Taylor mutters something indiscernible under his breath. I feel the same though. I might be in more trouble than I expected. But I've only just been left at the altar, my dear. A long time for you has only been a sunset for me. I ask you graciously to let us seek a compromise. Elias tilts his head once more, eyes locked with mine.
But your heart... I can hear its soft, gentle tears fall upon your soul. I promise you, my dearest, that a heart does not heal easily. No matter how many tales of tragedy and hardship one may read, reality is much more painful.
Agreed.
Why, my own heart has been broken more than a dozen times over the course of my life. And alas, it has never once healed, only turned to an aching scar.
You mean like... Okay, hold up, like, by that you mean that you've had your heart broken several times by different people, right? I said, like, in the context of, like, you know, like, familial love, like, you've had several suitors, not in the sense that you've been, like, divorced, like, dozens of times, right?
And I have tried my damnedest to ignore these wounds, to let them bleed out and coagulate into some semblance of strength. But it left me sickly instead. If a heart is to be mended, surgery must be immediate.
Elias takes my hand into his cold, ethereal grasp.
And here before you is someone who can mend your broken heart. Someone who can cherish you, stay with you, create happiness for you. I never had that chance in my own mortal life. And after so long, my dearest, I want you to choose happiness, not sorrow. And I want to be the one to give you that happiness.
I'm flattered. Something in his words ring truer to my heart than I could have expected. All I'm doing is playing along, acting my part. But if I had actually been left at the altar,
Whatever you do, do not trust him at all.
Taylor, you don't know what you're talking about. I will trust the ghost boy. Taylor's voice snaps me from my thought.
But also, don't do anything to upset him. Play it as cool as possible.
Oh, sure, I'll definitely play it cool. I'm not. I'm gonna play it extremely hot.
Elias gave you a very thin rope to walk. Don't fall down. Do you understand?
I'm definitely gonna fall. Okay, I got this. I can walk a tightrope. At least fake it. Why not show me what else there is to Elias Gallagher? Let me indulge my groom before I marry my husband.
Yes, we shall do that. But I cannot wait forever either. The taste of eternity I've already supped upon is nigh unbearable. Join your groom in helping him plan our wedding.
Why the lip bite on that? Taylor once more grumbles something inaudible. And what does my dear groom need help with? Elias gives a thoughtful pause.
Now let me think. I'd love your assistance with the floral arrangements. I have all the flowers of New England in my hands. It shall be difficult to select only a few.
To prove his claim, he presents his open palms to me, and a smorgasbord of tiny sample flowers sprout and bloom for my perusal. That's so many. You have to narrow it down for me, else I could never choose. Surely you'd want me to be selective.
Of course! And after that, a cake. I know my grandmother's recipes are still in this house, and I should set off on finding them. I've tasted them all when I was still in the flesh, and they're delightful. As such, I leave the choice of cake to you.
I mean, if you're telling me your grandmother's recipe, like, slaps that hard, why don't we go with that? Yeah, I can certainly do that.
And finally, since you'll be marrying into my distinguished family, I'm eager to bestow upon you a gift suitable of that prestige. I shall lead you to my treasury and introduce you to the family jewels.
The family what? Taylor sniggers and I can't help it. I laugh too, but try to mask it tastefully. Delightful. So I shall pick the jewelry I wear for you?
Precisely.
Very well, and with that, I believe we have reached an agreeable compromise.
Then let us begin. Take my hand, and I'll lead you to the greenhouse.
Elias's hand isn't nearly as cold as earlier, but my fingers phase through his just slightly all the time. It's enough to simulate the gesture of holding hands at least. Satisfied with the arrangement, he leads me out of the study and back through the halls. As we walk, I re-examine my surroundings. It really is hard to believe just how much of a glow-up this place got.
Hey, partner. How are we holding up?
Splendid. I've always wanted to hold hands with the man I love. Elias casts a sideways glance and blushes. I don't have the heart to tell him that I don't really mean it. We passed through the foyer on our way to the other end of the manor. 2 hours I was knocked out for, huh? Elias is practically dragging me at this point. This set of hallways is almost identical to the other end. Sans the glass double doors around the corner. Elias phases through so he can unlock and hold them open for me.
After you.
I take a step through the doorway, entering a whirl of flora. Seems the greenhouse still works as intended.
You shuddered a little. Is there a chill, my dear?
No, quite the opposite. Why, I'm surprised at how lovely the greenhouse looks already. Perhaps I'm exaggerating a bit. I can't even tell what plants used to grow in these plantas. But my bouquet would be here. Elias would likely turn this from depressing to delightful before I could blink. Do you need any help restoring this greenhouse to its former glory?
I did, but no longer. Behold!
I watch Elias's eager hand dance upon the trellises, and without any more than a simple flourish, dozens of flowers, this time in full size and bloom, await my perusal.
Voila! My dear, your flowers.
It's quite a trick. My eyes and nose are drawn to 3 flowers in particular, none of which should be growing on a trellis, an act of defiance, paranormal willpower, or simply Elias forgetting his botany. The classic red rose. It seems to be a different variant than the one I brought with me inside the manor, though not a climbing rose. A dazzling orange zinnia. The color reminds me of the soda I bring to the clubroom, though that's probably the least poetic thing to think about right now. And finally, a cute bunch of lyre flowers, vibrant and pink amongst the other blooms. I've always enjoyed their cheerful presence whenever I pass them by.
And there's more, much more if these don't delight you.
No. I think one of these shall delight us both.
And which will that be, my dear?
Oh no, hey, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to affect anything. I will say the rose. The rose is always a classic choice. Red means love, yeah?
Red on a rose means true love, undying love, eternal love.
Sounds about right. Taylor had me flick through a few books on flower language over the years, hoping we could lure out some ghosts with the right blooms. I could never keep the meaning straight in my head. Maybe Elias was the type. Red roses were easy, but he know more. Yes, I think it's the perfect choice for us then. Do we have a vase?
Of course.
With a flick of his wrist, a pile of dust on the other side of the room collapses, and in his grasp he holds a perfectly clean, nearly translucent glass vase.
Acceptable?
Oh, much more than acceptable. Something to cut the flowers. Oh, and gloves to handle the thorns.
Of course.
He provides me with the tools and I set to work. Do I need to trim the stems before putting them in the vase? I think that was a trick to removing the thorns, but if I knew it, it's long gone.
Careful. Simply go slowly, and the rose will happily let its guard drop.
I guide the knife he provided slowly up the stem, as parallel as possible, and when the blade hits a thorn, it cuts through like butter.
There you are. See? Not a thing to be afraid of. Not a moment that needs to be rushed.
This whole day has been a rush, hasn't it? Sure, in the sense of I've literally met a ghost after years of trying, but also all the pressure. I had less than 48 hours to prepare for my own wedding, even if it was fake. All the sun research, all the desperate planning, and out of breath in between. My hand slowed to a crawl, and I savored the moment, pruning each thorn one by one. They fall to the greenhouse floor, decorating the tile in reddish-green points. Eventually, there was no more thorns to prune. I add another rose to the vase, hoping it looks okay, then another.
Splendid! Now, did you have thoughts on accoutrements? Accent flowers, that is.
What? Alright, this is just a half dozen roses, not a full bouquet. I hadn't thought about it. If Elias is that into flowers, would you suggest some for us?
My pleasure and my honor. First, some baby's breath.
Fake the
Ooh.
flower language. If you get it right, he'll be happy. If you get it wrong, he'll have the joy of correcting you.
Huh. Taylor's voice hisses in my ear. Baby's breath. That's something about youth, correct?
In this bouquet, more a symbol of innocence and purity.
Oh, I hope he doesn't get weird about purity because I definitely cannot meet Victorian standards. In fact, like look at him right now. Like, I am definitely not feeling Victorian for him. I'm feeling very rock and roll right now.
They work stunningly when used sparingly. One may expect that their small size must be bolstered by great numbers, but that's simply not true.
I try to take his advice. The little white flowers slip between the roses, resting like snowflakes suspended mid-fall. Elias could make roses bloom in winter, couldn't he? I think about the odd wedding that would be, but his hands continue to guide mine, raising the baby's breath up a smidge.
Do you see how that little bit of elevation gives the whole bouquet a sense of dynamism? Personality.
How much is a smidge? Here?
Here.
He reaches out and his hand flows through the stems, through the petals and through my fingers, lifting my hand along with the flowers, ever so gently.
Just like that.
Yeah, would we like more flowers in this bouquet?
Yes, I think so. What would you say to lemon balm?
I'd ask how closely related they are to lemons.
Taylor, no! There's Taylor with a snark again, of course.
Only some leaves, green and small. Perfect for filling in the gaps and adding a rich aroma.
Ooh, actually, think about that. Do they mean something about sweetness? Probably best not to ask about sourness.
Sympathy and compassion. Though speaking of sweetness, these leaves do make a nice tea.
Yeah, perhaps you could brew us a few cups when we're done here.
Oh, what an excellent idea. Yes, I think we shall have that lemon balm tea.
Alright, let's save some of this for the kettle. I tuck some of the leaves around the edge of the vase, and following Elias's suggestion with the baby's breath, I make sure to raise some up too. I try to keep it beneath the more exciting flowers, but every now and then I make sure a few of the little buds of baby's breath barely peek out from the bottom of the lemon balm. Elias watches me with a polite smile, the same one I've seen so many times now, but his eyes are brighter, giving him away again. This time he's trying to downplay his joy. Would you like to help arrange?
I would love to.
And Elias returns his hand to the vase, carefully making sure that he adds compliments to what I've composed. Even though I've never done this before, even though I've never looked so closely at bouquet, I can tell what I've touched and what he's touched. And honestly, altogether, it looks pretty good.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I think one last flower. And you should choose, my dear.
He shows me two different flowers, one of flat, delicate yellow petals, another of thin, wispy strands of purple. I don't recognize either. If it's my choice again, I choose to savor it, to roll the flowers around in my head, and let them delight me. Why not? I don't have to understand their meanings to find them beautiful. The yellow ones.
The yarrow. Excellent.
I admit, I'm unfamiliar with these.
A symbol of everlasting love.
Again?
Taylor, chill! I chose everlasting love twice. Double eternity. I try not to think about it. They're only flowers, after all. Elias and I return our hands to the bouquet, adding the final touches.
The flowers look absolutely gorgeous, my dear. But still nowhere near as lovely as you.
Thank you, Elias. I can feel my heart hammering in my chest. They're just plants. Innocent little flowers. Flowers with too many meanings, too many promises.
Is something the matter, dearest? You look a bit pale.
I must admit that I am a bit tired. Would it be alright for me to rest a little bit before we continue preparing for the ceremony?
Of course. You mustn't exert yourself too much. Please feel free to choose any room on the ground floor. Though, You'll have to excuse the state of disarray it may be in.
Thank you, my love.
And do not worry about the mess here. I shall clean up and rejoin you after I check something in the study.
The study. Elias bows as I turn to leave the greenhouse. My steps feel heavy as I return to the hallway. I wasn't expecting floral arrangements to be that intense.
Hey, are you doing all right now?
I'll live.
Might be time to see what you can get up to before your rendezvous with Elias.
I nod my head as if Taylor can somehow see me through the earpiece. Back to where it all began. The dust isn't so thick now. While it doesn't look all too fabulous compared to the rest of the place, it looks a little less uninviting. Hey, remember that painting I mentioned before? In the foyer?
On the second floor. Yep. What about it?
I think I can make out a few of the details better now. Maybe even get a pic of it. I test my foot on the first step and angle my camera up to snap a photo of the frame. When the deed is done, I text it to Taylor. Here you go. If I had to hazard a guess, then this style of painting would be Impressionism. It was all the rage in the 19th century, so it fit the timeline. Know anything about the subject?
It's probably a portrait of one of the Gallagher ladies. What better way to flaunt wealth and status than by paying someone to preserve your likeness with expensive materials?
Well, gotta say, Taylor's got a point there. I zoom in on the photo I took and study the details. I assume Taylor's doing the same. Those earrings and necklace, and the size of that ring too. Damn, that's too rich for my blood.
Probably the precious family jewels Elias was telling you about.
Are we still going on about the family jewels? Because, I mean, to be fair, like, you're not the only one who wants to get his hands on the family jewels. Taylor snickers. I roll my eyes with a groan.
Anyways, I'll look into this and see if I can get an exact match for who it might be. Keep hunting around?
Roger that. I pick one of many doors in the foyer and swing it open, wincing a little at how badly it needs to be oiled. Elias wasn't kidding when he said some of the rooms will be in disarray. Definitely doesn't look as nice as the study. I think this is the living room, or lounge. There's couches at least. The patterns have worn off them, and the material is torn open in a few places. I run my hand over the back of the love seat.
Anything interesting there?
Aside from the couches, there's a rocking chair and a mounted deer head, a painting of a building, a grandfather clock, and a bookshelf. Elias hasn't worked his magic here, so it's a bit decrepit. I'll investigate everything else before I take a look at the books. Wouldn't even know where to begin with that anyway. Inspect the deer head. I walk over to the mounted deer head and peer into its soulless, long-dead eyes. Taxidermy always freaked me out as a kid, and that never changed as I got older. The Gallagher men liked to hunt for sport, didn't they?
All of them but Elias.
From my interactions with him, he probably couldn't even hurt a fly. I don't really see the point of killing animals for fun. Like, at least eat the venison, you know? I'm actually surprised I don't see any rifles mounted on the walls for decoration.
How big are the antlers on that deer anyway?
Really small. Nothing to write home about.
Did you know that in the winter, deer, moose, and other mammals who grow antlers will just shake them clean off? Maybe they shot that deer in the spring when it was regrowing them.
Huh. Thanks for the fun trivia. Inspect the clock. I peer at the face of the grandfather clock, frowning when I notice that the hands are missing. I know analog clocks are a thing of the past, but I really like the aesthetics of a ticking clock. There's just something about them that's so cool.
You think so? I feel like they're too inaccurate. If a gear stops turning or the battery dies out, then you have to manually set it again. Digital clocks hook up to the internet so they don't have that problem.
Taylor, you're missing the point. It's all about the aesthetics. Taylor lets out a loud grumble instead of bothering to argue with me. Inspect the painting. Another impressionist painting, this time of a building's facade. Doesn't seem to be the matter, though. So I wonder if this painting has any significance. Do you know if there are any secret passages in the mansion?
I wouldn't doubt it since the Gallaghers had this place built just for them, but I wouldn't know where they are. They're secret for a reason.
Gee, thanks. I'll try to lift up the painting just enough to see if there's anything behind it. There isn't. I'm done. And Taylor, I looked at everything else aside from the shelf, so I'm gonna check out the books. Any ideas on where to start?
Tell me what you're looking at.
I scanned the spines for titles. There's an encyclopedia series, a dictionary, a thesaurus, a Bible, Bible hymns, an assortment of Shakespearean plays. I pull out the old tome of Romeo and Juliet and flip through the yellow pages. At least try to. The corners of the pages disintegrate in my fingers.
Ha! Bingo! I finally got a match on that painting from earlier.
Did we need a Taylor jump scare? Oh yeah? Who is it? I slide the book in my hand back onto the shelf before hazarding a seat on one of the couches. Moments later, Taylor texts me an old black and white photo.
Check it out. That's Mama Gallagher herself. Mildred loved to host tea parties and dances at the manor. Always made a grand show of the family bling while she was at it.
I don't blame her. She's very beautiful.
She was the envy of the land until that Gallagher curse killed her. Anyways, that's one mystery solved. Think there's anything else in here?
I stand up and check the shelf again. Ugh. There's a children's picture book here about clowns?
Don't open that!
Okay, nerd. Well, nothing else really calls out to me, so I'm going over to the next room. I pause momentarily. Over?
Roger that.
I slip back out onto the foyer and stare down the other doors. A map of this place would really help right now. Well, here we go. I push past another door at random and peek my head inside before walking in. It's a modestly sized room with a rectangular wooden table surrounded by chairs, along with a small chandelier on the ceiling. I think this is the dining room. Seems suited for eating meals here with a large family or guests, at least. And it's in much better condition than the living room.
What else is in there?
Fireplace, table, chairs, lamp, and a fancy-looking cabinet. Or books in there, more like.
Take a look around and tell me if there's anything interesting before you indulge in literature again.
Roger that. Let's inspect the fireplace. I head over to the fireplace and start knocking on the walls. I hope there's a secret passage here. No matter where I knock, I don't find any sections that feel or sound different.
No dice.
No dice.
Keep at it, bud. Your dream will come true one day.
I inspect the table. It's such a nice table. It's got a lacquer wood finish and everything.
Can you stick to the mission, please?
Hey, I'm doing a lot of walking here. Let me sit down for a moment. Taylor huffs in my ear while I plop down on one of the chairs, which happens to be surprisingly cushy. You know, you never really answered my question from before.
Which one?
About the hypothetical ghost clown servant.
No, we are not talking about clowns!
What if a ghost clown man made you blueberry pancakes in a bid to gain your friendship and trust?
I don't even like blueberries, and waffles are superior in every way. They can hold syrup, melted butter, or whatever you top them with, so you lose less to your plate.
But Taylor, I keep telling you that you need to lay your face down in a fresh stack of fluffy pancakes at least once in your life. It's like being hugged by a litter of puppies.
I am not putting food on my face, or my face into food.
Well, I'll put your face in my food.
No, end of conversation. Get back to the mission.
I click my tongue in annoyance and he clicks back. Inspect the floor lamps. Yeah, I could use more light in here, but these lamps are probably dead, aren't they? Yeah, they're just as dead as Elias. Wonder if collectors will go wild over some antique light bulbs.
Of all the things in this mansion, you're thinking of stealing the light bulbs?
What? You want me to walk out of here with the table?
Fair enough.
I hold one of the lamps in my hand and try to twist the bulb off, but it doesn't budge. Scratch that. I'm not gonna bother.
Hey, want to know another fun fact? Thomas Edison didn't actually invent the light bulb. He bought the patent from two dudes named Henry Woodward and Matthew Evan.
Fun fact! I hate Thomas Edison.
Edison was able to claim fame thanks to the fact that he had enough capital to finance improvements to the design.
So the moral of the story is that the rich get richer and the poor stay starving?
My point was that popular history gets written by the winners, but that works too.
I'm done looking. Nothing else to look at but the cabinet now.
Let me know what you find.
I kneel down by the floor and inspect the books on the bottom. These seem to be cookbooks for various European cuisines. Irish, Polish, Dutch, and so forth. No dessert cookbooks here, but maybe they're behind the glass.
Right, Elias wanted to bake a cake for you. Would he even be able to eat it?
He did have a tea set in the study, so maybe it's like food offerings for the departed.
Can you say that again? I think the line's coming out again.
I said, There's static in the earpiece, and I'm suddenly overcome with dizziness. I groan while trying to get back upright, grabbing the back of the chair for balance. Suddenly, my vision darkens and the room spins. My feet can't touch the ground. I'm falling down into a yawning abyss. I open my eyes. Behind me, the chandelier starts swinging and the fireplace roars to life, yet I'm freezing, like there's ice slushing through my veins again. It's horrible and I'm scared. This is definitely the same dining room, but everything feels wrong. I grip the chair harder and lift my head. That was a mistake. What? In case of the glass in the cabinet is the figure of a woman. Whoa! Hey, ma'am! She's so far away, but she's coming closer and closer with a knife in her hand and a Cheshire cat grin painted across her lips. Dripping with bloodless, her needle-like gaze makes a pinboard of me. I can't breathe. I have to get out of here. How can I escape? In an act of defiance, I spin in the opposite direction and try to make a break for it, but my feet are cemented in place.
Hey, can you hear me? Answer if you can hear me!
Get away from me! My knees give out, and I collapse back into the chair.
Are you okay? Were you attacked?
Not physically.
Static took over the line again, and I heard something garbled from your end. Some kind of whispering or chanting? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me. I swallow deep gasps of air, trying to regain my breath as Taylor's voice rings in my ear.
Hey, what did you see?
DuPont. Violet DuPont. I spit out the name without thinking. I know whoever I saw was a woman, but was it really Violet?
I'm starting to think there are some other spirits in this mansion besides Elias. Why else would there be interference when he's not even in the room?
Goodness, are you quite all right?
I look up at the sound of Elias's voice. Also, I can't believe I'm actually really glad to see Elias.
Why do you look so pale?
My sweet Elias. I'm gonna tell him I had a vision of someone, probably the woman he was supposed to marry, charging at me with a knife. It simply feels as though 1,000 years have passed since I last saw you, my love. I began to feel a bit low. Why don't I just tell him the truth? Why don't I just tell him? Taylor groans on the other side while I fake a pacifying grin.
It's been like, what, 20 minutes tops?
Forgive me for leaving you to your own devices for so long, dearest. I am here now, so there is no need to linger in the despair of solitude.
My gratitude, Elias. Surely my pain is nothing compared to your own.
Worry not, my love. For my years in the flesh prepared me for such an existence. I am not forgotten.
It could be my imagination, but I see a flicker of pain in his eyes for a moment, as if he's trying to convince himself of that last bit.
Why, even before you came to me, there would be the occasional visitor to my manor. None quite so welcome, mind you. Most were in a stupefied, intoxicated state.
Are you talking about all the partygoers that keep coming here just to trash the place?
Good entertainment, but not the company I'd choose to spend the rest of my waking moments with. Unlike you, my love.
I am honestly very flattered.
Man, this guy is just... ugh.
Are you telling me you like him too, Taylor? I'm trying my hardest not to roll my eyes at Taylor's unnecessary commentary. Let us not linger on such irrelevant matters then. Shall we resume our preparations for the ceremony?
Why, yes, a splendid idea.
Elias moved towards the glass cabinet with a bounce in his float. Swinging the doors open, he starts humming.
Our wedding shall be oh so fine. The layer cake most of all, unforgettable. Nana's baking divine, and when paired with white wine, to not taste it would be quite regrettable. Oh, though I do miss her cream pies as well. Shame those aren't quite appropriate for a wedding.
I mean, if it's just both of us, I don't mind having a cream pie on my wedding. Oh, my lord.
Oh my god! Did he just say cream pie?
He did. Get your head out of the goddamn gutter, I'll make you cry.
She wrote the recipe in a manner such that you could make it in any sort of flavor, so long as you had the proper ingredients. Say, what flavor shall our cake be, my dear?
Elias flavor. Oh, there are so many options to choose from, aren't there? I simply can't decide. What do you suggest, dearest? Elias thumbs the spines of the cookbook with a little more focus.
I was quite partial to Earl Grey myself, but vanilla is always agreeable no matter the party. Though perhaps a delicate lemon with hints of lavender.
Is something the matter, Elias?
I must have misplaced grandmother's dessert recipes. I can't find them.
It must have been violet! Elias lowers his hands from the cabinet and sighs, crestfallen.
Where did I leave them? I know I have seen it within the past decade at least.
Hey, here's our chance to look for more clues somewhere else.
Taylor makes a good point. Perhaps I can assist in your search. With 2 sets of eyes, I'm sure we'll find your grandmother's recipes in no time.
I am loath to ask my betrothed to make up for my mistakes, but yes, I would appreciate your help.
Do you have any inkling of an idea where you may have left them?
Unfortunately not. I do know that it must be in the manor, however. None of my possessions have left the grounds. I will investigate the common room. Take care where you may search, and be cautious of the second floor. I have done my best to stabilize the structure, but it does take quite some energy.
Yeah, understood, my love. May we find your grandmother's recipe soon. Elias bows before he takes his leave through the door, and I release a breath I didn't realize I was holding.
Is he finally gone?
Looks like I can try looking around on the second floor now, but where should we start?
Well, you never got to hunt around the study since Elias was hanging out in there. But I wonder if you can find his bedroom.
Taylor? Taylor pauses, and when he speaks again, I can hear his voice waver.
We also have no idea what caused that vision you saw earlier.
Should I return to the study or search for Elias's bedroom, or stay here in the dining room where I saw that vision? I can only be in one place at a time. Oh no, wait, let me make a save. Maybe a new slot? Let's stay go to the study and find Elias's bedroom. We didn't stay in the dining room. I might die from this. I will go to the left dining room. That vision with Violet, or whoever I saw just now, it's really bothering me. I'm staying here to inspect the glass cabinet a little more.
Be careful, alright?
I pull myself out of the chair and step towards the cabinet and its books once more. This time, nothing seems to appear.
Though, how are you going to explain to Elias that you're basically staying put?
We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. I swing the cabinet door open and shut, investigating it from multiple angles. I take out a book to inspect it. The words are nothing but jumbled old English to me. And some of the stuff is illegible.
Too hard to read?
More like too hard to understand. Do people really talk like this?
I don't know. You seem to do a pretty good job of it.
Gah. I slot the book back in place and I cough as dust gets into my nose.
You okay there, bud?
Even though this place looks clean, the dust in this cabinet is still very real.
Maybe that was Elias's plan all along. Death by choking on dust.
I roll my eyes.
See anything new?
Not really. I wonder where the kitchen is in this place.
Oh, no. You probably don't want to go into the kitchen even if you're able to find it. Oh, imagine the mildew and rot. Ugh.
You think so? You know, since you love comparing yourself to Egon so much, I bet you love something like that. Somewhere covered in mold. Taylor laughs heartily. The sound light in my ear.
Well, if we're comparing each other to Ghostbusters characters, I am the brains of the operation. Egon just makes sense.
I was thinking you're more of a Janine. Your red hair and cute face is much better suited for that role. Taylor makes an odd, barely noticeable noise, then clears his throat.
I knew it. You do think I'm cute.
I mean, you are cute! God damn it! Anyway, I think I deserve some credit. You may be the planner, but I'm the one about to marry a ghost.
Hey!
I smile at the pout in his voice.
I would have joined you, but backup is important. I'm prioritizing the evidence and trying to avoid Elias's suspicions.
I shuffle back and lower myself into one of the chairs at the dining table. Is that really the reason? Or are you worried you won't be able to hide your insatiable desire to be ravished by a ghost? I pause for a second, smirking. You know, I found that notebook you left in the club room last week. One filled with lewd fanfiction. Try as you might, you aren't that subtle. His squeal is enough to make me stifle a laugh. Taylor clears his throat, his voice lowering.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I take a deep breath before sighing dramatically. They had me pinned against the wall. The lips left a trail of fire along my skin as they... I cease, realizing he hasn't tried to stop me. He then speaks, his voice soft and low.
I'm not writing about ghosts.
Are you writing about me then? I raise an eyebrow. Then what were you writing about?
It doesn't matter. And it's not fanfiction. Just get back to the mission.
Taylor sounds unusually meek right now. Maybe I stepped on a nerve. Hey, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
It's okay, bud. How are you doing over there with all those visions and everything?
Honestly, it's a lot all at once, but hearing your voice through all this really keeps me calm. I can almost pick up a smile in his voice as he replies, softly.
Good. I'm glad.
I better get going somewhere before I waste too much time. I push the chair back and try to stand up, but the leg catches on my clothes. Yeah!
What's going on?
Are you alright?
Out of nowhere, Elias grabs my hand, his other arm wrapping around my waist as he steadies me. Elias, I don't think I'm okay. My vision blurs as the scene before me dissipates and molds into something else entirely. I see Elias surrounded by his siblings and father, all of them shouting and jeering. Horrible, terrible things in a mocking tone, making fun of him, calling him weak, a mistake. Grief and guilt all fill my heart before I snap back to reality. I'm leaning against the wall, Elias kneeling next to me. He looks exhausted.
I apologize. I should have come for you sooner. Are you alright?
Are you okay? What happened? You suddenly shouted and...
I nod, my heart pounding out of my chest. I'm alright.
I am relieved to hear that.
Oh, thank God.
Elias, did you feel that connection? Elias nods.
If only for a brief moment, yes. I saw a red-headed gentleman smiling at you. Who is that, if I may ask?
It's fine, it's fine. I'm totally not having an affair with the president of my own club. Taylor immediately pops into my mind. A friend. He's a friend. I swear I catch a flash of jealousy across Elias's face, but it dissipates just as quickly as it appeared.
I would love to meet your friend.
I would love for you to meet him as well, and I'm sure he would be excited for the opportunity too. Elias's expression softens as he leads me away from the dining room and into one of the many hallways.
Anyways, my darling, I did come back to find you, as I have finally uncovered my grandmother's recipes. If you can tell me which one you'd like, I will make preparations while you freshen up.
I'd really appreciate that. When it comes to the cake, I think I'd like to try Earl Grey. Earl Grey.
An excellent choice. You have the most wonderful taste, my dear. Please, let me handle the remainder. If you wish to rest, please, I encourage you to do so.
Thank you, Elias. I shall take you up on that offer. Elias bows before floating off to some other part of the manor, leaving me alone again. Okay, he's gone.
Hey, bud, you sound really exhausted. You should find some place to sit down and rest.
Yeah, give me a moment, alright? I take a look around the hallway. It really doesn't help that all these doors look the same. Shrugging, I pick a random door and try the knob. To my surprise, it turns. I guess I'll go in here. Washroom? Not entirely sure what I expected, but it's a bathroom.
Is it at least clean?
Dusty, but not moldy. I guess I can sit on the porcelain throne. I sweep my attire to the side and close the lid before taking a seat.
So how are you feeling? You've been through a lot, and that's the understatement of the century.
I'm physically okay. More mentally exhausted, really. We've got so much evidence to sort through.
Maybe we should go over everything we've learned so far.
I don't know how much time I have, but might as well try.
Assume you have a little, so talk as fast as you can.
Okay, so Elias has been nothing but a complete gentleman to me. Shame about the rest of the house, but his heart seems like it's in the right place.
If you say so.
He is quite impressive at making bouquets. Maybe I am too? Should we take this back to the campus?
Take what? Ghostly flower arrangements?
Yeah? Someone's gotta be interested. And there's no flower club at the university. It's an avenue, at least.
There has to be more that you found. Please?
Just teasing. Of course there's more. The sighting of Violet in the dining room was a lot. Like a lot.
I know, and I didn't even see it.
I think in that brief moment, I hated her.
Whoa.
Well, why shouldn't I? She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be haunting Elias. She's the true danger. And truth be told, I don't know if her spirit's actually here at all. She might simply be a figment of Elias's memories.
So Elias is the true danger then?
I have a bad feeling about it if that's true. No, that's not what I said.
You're starting to worry me.
And there's what happened just now.
When Elias touched you again?
Yeah, part of my outfit got caught by the chair and I nearly tripped, but he caught me just in time. Another vision. This time I saw his family mocking me. I couldn't really make out what they were all saying, but it definitely wasn't praise.
What concerns me more is that he mentioned seeing me. Was he reading your mind? It almost sounded like you two were exchanging memories.
I have no idea. I'm able to hold his hand without triggering any memories sometimes, but we were both stressed out at the time, so...
I don't like that he's capable of reading your memories, even if this time wasn't intentional. What happens if he finds out that you're faking all of this? Honestly, and I mean it this time, I want you to leave this place. There's something very wrong going on. Nothing we read said anything like this would happen.
Taylor, calm down. I know this wasn't what we expected, but what were we expecting exactly? Be honest. Do you think this would really pan out? 3 years of failure. Now we're finally here. We finally got what we wanted. We've planned so much. Hell, fantasized so much about what we do when we finally met a restless spirit. We try our best to soothe them, to help them move on, to bring them the happiness they've lost, to finish their unfinished business. Now that we have the opportunity, shouldn't we do what we said we'd do all along? Maybe we can help him move along.
Please, we don't know what kind of tricks he has up his sleeve. I don't want you to fall for anything he might be up to.
I won't, I promise. Am I even sure Elias is up to anything beyond trying to wed me? And will breaking Elias's heart any further really be better than going through with all this? Next thing to do is pick out some jewelry, then we're ready to go. The wedding will probably be at dawn, maybe just before. No, for sure. Do you want me to stay? A little beep echoes in my ear.
Bud?
I check my phone, and that beep means exactly what I think it means. My phone battery is almost dead. My phone's dying.
What?
Out of juice.
You didn't bring a portable charger?
Why would I? Honestly, I didn't think I'd be here that long. I didn't have much time to plan.
I'm coming in.
What? Wait, you!
I'm not leaving you alone in there with no contact. I'm responsible for that much. Stall for time. I'll see you soon. Over and out.
The line goes dead. The pounding in my heart intensifies like a symphony reaching a crescendo. Like an aria bursting from the melody, the voice triumphantly calls out to me.
My dear, can you come to the living room?
I have no choice but to oblige. As I step through the corridors, each creak of my footfalls is as thunderous as a waterfall. My phone vibrates one last time, the final warning before embracing its inevitable death. I arrive at the door and enter the living room, where Elias awaits. At this point, there's no hiding my stress. I'm not that good of an actor, and Elias would see right through me. Still, I do my best to compose myself and step into the living room. Elias is waiting for me, just as he said he'd be.
Oh, my dear, you look paler than me!
Yeah, I probably do.
What on earth happened?
I lost contact with someone very important just now. Have you ever been contacted by a spirit medium? It's something like what I've been doing, but that contact has been cut short.
You've been talking with someone else?
I have, for my own safety. When it came to this matter today, I didn't know what to expect.
I thought you expected me.
I hoped for you, Elias, but until I came here, how could I know what was true? Perhaps I'd arrived to an empty estate moments from collapse before anyone to greet me. Just another false rumor about a haunted mansion. Maybe you wouldn't be as friendly and courteous as all the whispers implied. Maybe you wouldn't be the one lingering in this mansion at all. There are so many other possibilities. How many ghosts have you met in your lifetime, Elias?
A fair question. Well, I have faint memories of catching specters out of the corner of my eye. Unexplained disturbances and whatnot. But I have not conferred with any ghosts like the two of us have chatted. Certainly not in life.
Am I the ghost? Exactly. So you understand my mortal caution. Elias pouts. My friend, my medium, was the one guiding me through this manor safely.
And did you just meet this friend today, or?
Yeah, I've known him for a long time. He was the one who told me about this manor in the first place. Listen, Elias, I've met 0 ghosts until you. Not for a lack of trying. Both myself and Taylor. That's, my friend. I've spent the better part of the past 3 years searching for the paranormal. And that's what led me to you. I don't know if I would be here if I hadn't spent that time looking for so long.
Marvelous. My dear, how wonderful it is that you finally found me. Though, would you have sought the hand of any other ghosts you may have met?
A guilty sigh emanates from my lips, permeating the air. If they were willing to court me, I wouldn't automatically say no. I imagine, based on what I've read, that none of the ghosts I otherwise might have run into around here would be interested in such things.
And as for your friend, how exactly has he served as a medium?
Well, this earpiece is my method of communicating discreetly. I take the bit of plastic out of my ear and hold it out for Elias to observe. Whether he has any knowledge of such modern things or not, I have no clue. It sadly stopped working and needs to be charged. I don't think you're able to help here either.
So, to contact him again, you'd have to leave?
Actually, he's coming here. Now the link between us is broken, he's not going to let me out of his sight.
Oh, is that so?
Is Elias blushing? Does Elias want Taylor too? He's not suddenly getting jealous of Taylor, is he?
Well, he's heard about the wedding, yes? Our wedding?
Yes.
Well, I suppose a wedding without guests isn't much of a wedding.
Why do I have a feeling that Elias really wants Taylor? What?
Everything is just about in order for the ceremony anyway. And I hope your friend realizes how safe you are with me by now. He can wait outside for a little while we finish our preparations. Shall we go ahead and place the final touches on this affair?
We shall, my dear. He offers me his arm. I take it. I have no idea what's about to happen. Can Taylor even get inside? Will he spill the beans about my facade? Will I be able to escape before I marry a ghost? Do I want to escape?
Now then, shall we? It is time to show you my precious family jewels.
Again, no! Anyway, that's all the time I have for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys want to play this for yourself, link to the game will be in the description below. And don't forget, the Queer Halloween bundle is out soon. So, like, if you guys do want to get this game alongside with over 100 other games, and I guarantee that you're going to find quite a number of gems in there. Link to that is also in the description below. But I will be back with another episode of this soon enough, so be sure to subscribe. I'm not gonna ask you to hit the bell icon because I know how annoying that could be. But definitely keep an eye out for when I do a part 2 of this, where we go through whatever route we're gonna go down, and maybe there's gonna be a part 3 where we go through like some of the alternate endings, as well as like the extras. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.